Do you want to help your loved ones be healthier, but don't want to sound crazy? You've come to the right place. Thank you for clicking on this video. My name is Dustin. Welcome to KetoSimple, where I've lost over 100 pounds, and I'm here to keep the information that I provide to you as simple as possible. We all have friends, family, coworkers struggling with their health, whether it's weight, diabetes, ulcerative colitis, IBS. They just feel exhausted all the time. Any number of things. We want to help. We see them struggling. But let's be honest. Sometimes when we try, and I understand this from my own personal experience, we sound overbearing, we sound crazy, and we sound like know-it-alls, nut jobs. So how do we reach them without pushing them away? Well, first, let's talk about the wrong way to do it. That's right, the wrong way to do it. Starting off with, you need to do this. I did it. You should too. Never works. Nobody likes to be told what to do. You don't like to be told what to do. I don't like to be told what to do. So why would they? The biggest mistake that we make is making them feel lectured, judged. How about we start with understanding, empathy? People need to feel heard before they can open up and accept help. So instead of saying things like, you really need to lose weight for your health, try something like, I know you've been struggling, and I just want to be here to support you. What's been the hardest part for you? Start with those kinds of questions. Get a feeler. How are they really feeling? They're more likely to open up, and you're more likely to gain some traction. Because, again, the more things that we say that sound crazy, and there's no shortage of things that we say in our community, whether it's keto, carnivore, what have you, that sound insane. Things like sugar is poison, carbs are killing you, the food industry is lying to you, seed oils are toxic, breakfast is a scam, your doctor doesn't know anything about what he's talking about. Now, are any of these things true? Yes, but they still sound crazy. We've got to stop doing that. Say things like, as far as sugar as poison, lead off with things like, too much sugar could mess with your energy levels. Have you noticed how you feel after a big sugary meal? Or eating too much sugar or ice cream or whatever? How do you feel after that? You're going to get more headway. Carbs are killing you? Are they? Probably. Again, sounds crazy. What's a better approach? For me, cutting back on carbs has helped a lot with my cravings. I've been able to find satiety. I'm not hungry all the time. And I'm not irritable. And I'm not looking for food. I'm not having the midday slump that I used to have. Share your actual experiences. It's going to go a lot farther. Because again, the goal is to help, not manipulate. Really, the key lesson here is instead of making shocking, bold statements, ask questions. Share your personal experiences. I mean, that's really what we're here for, right? To share our journeys. And hopefully, us doing so will help others. That just kind of comes into, the power of relatability. Share your story. Most people in your life already kind of know your story, but they may not know the details. You can go in depth with things that you haven't told people. Become vulnerable. Open up to them. Let them know things that you probably wouldn't tell anybody else. The embarrassing stuff. I've got a whole lot of embarrassing things that I could tell people. But you know me, I'm pretty open. So that's not too hard for me. But it used to be. So you want to connect with people, you want to connect with people with struggles, not just success. Share how you felt before, what you changed, the frustrations, if you failed, the doubts. Too often we see creators and they're talking about how they succeeded without ever talking about making any mistakes. Own up to your mistakes. Let people know because they're going to have mistakes. And then introduce to them what you finally found that worked for you. Your story. Like I was over 420 pounds. I started buying 5X t-shirts, 50-inch pants. I was worried I wasn't going to be able to find clothes anymore. That's when I realized I needed to make a change. I feared ending up like my mother, having an early heart attack. Ask their fears. Talk about your biggest struggles, trying to figure out what you were going to do, getting started. When I started, there wasn't a community like we have today. I remember feeling stuck, just like you might be feeling, like they might be feeling. I wasn't sure what to do. And honestly, some of what I heard sounded crazy. Fat is good, meat is good. You don't have to eat 5 meals a day. You could fast for 12, 14, 16, 18 hours in a day. It sounded nuts. Why would I starve myself? I need to eat more to keep my metabolism up, right? These are all things that we thought we knew. But again, I found keto, low carb, and all of this, and it actually worked for me. So that's why I'm sharing it with you. And hopefully you can take some of this information and share it with your loved ones and hopefully make an impact with them. Now, if you're finding value in this video, please take a moment and hit like, share, think about subscribing. It really helps out the channel. Those are all free things you can do to help out the channel. You can consider becoming a member, or you can hop over and check out KetoSimple.shop for all the other ways that you can help support this channel. Moving forward, you can lead with curiosity, not commands. Instead of telling them what to do, ask questions that make them think. For example, what else have you tried before? Did it work for you? Have you ever considered focusing on protein first, using fat for satiety? Do you think your cravings are controlling you? Do you have trouble satiating your hunger? Are you always hungry? Are you always stuffing yourself? That was an issue that I had. I would eat till I was about to burst, and then I'd be hungry and go eat some ice cream. Ask these questions. It could be things that they are suffering with every day. They may not want to talk about it because they're ashamed or embarrassed. But if you lead off with those kinds of anecdotes from your own personal story, it may allow them to open up to you and make some headway to help them out. Because again, that's what we're trying to do here. Another thing is introducing new information without overwhelming them, without using big, huge words, things that they don't understand, concepts they don't quite understand yet. And maybe you don't fully understand them and you're trying to tell them and you may not be getting it right and just making the whole thing, kind of a confused mess. I've been there. People resist change because they fear it's going to be too hard. It's scary to make those types of changes. It won't work. They might fail. Start small. Suggest one simple change. Instead of changing everything, start with just one thing. As an example, have you ever tried swapping out breakfast cereal for having bacon and eggs, sausage and eggs? See how you feel? See if you feel fuller longer? One thing that I would notice when we first went keto would be putting stuff on the plates. You would have a piece of meat and maybe some veggies on the plate, and it would seem like there's something missing. There was always something else to go along with it. So you kind of have to get over that too. So keep that in mind and maybe throw that in a little bit, that you're going to feel like there's something missing, but there's nothing really missing. It just seems like it. Takes time. Another example, what if you just try cutting out sugary drinks? Maybe just for a week, just to see how it goes. Maybe mention some trusted doctors. Dr. Barry, Dr. Eric Westman, Dr. Jason Fung. There's a lot of people out there that have a lot of amazing information that they can turn to that goes deeper than what I'm going in here. Even deeper than you may understand. Maybe send them pertinent videos from those doctors or other creators that may be talking about something that they're suffering with. Are they suffering from ulcerative colitis, IBS, Crohn's? Do they have anxiety? Do they have autoimmune issues? There's a ton of content out there. Send them short little videos that's easy to watch, that may touch on something, that may spark their interest. Maybe they'll go down that rabbit hole on their own. There's going to be pushback. How do we overcome pushback? How often have we heard, but I can't give up my bread. I can't give up my pasta. What am I going to do? I get it. I felt the same way. I never thought I was going to give up my bread and my big sandwiches and my pizza and having giant bowls of macaroni and cheese. I never dreamed in a million years that I would be willing, able, and okay to not have that stuff on a regular basis. It gets easier. and you feel better. Again, that may still sound crazy to them in the beginning as well. It would have sounded crazy to me. You came to you came to a 20-something-year-old me and were saying, if you just give up pasta and bread, you'll be a lot better off. I'd have been like, well, I don't want to be better off. I don't have another way to say that. But I would have been like, you're crazy because that stuff's delicious. And we're told 12, 13 servings of grains every day. Fruit, lots of servings of fruit. So meat, fruit, vegetables, basically anything and everything on a pizza. Because bread, pizza, tomato sauce, fruit, I don't want to give up everything I love. You don't have to. What if you just started by focusing on eating more protein first? Something small, one step at a time. They'll say, well, that sounds too restrictive. Actually, I found out that once I got through the first couple of weeks, the possibilities seemed a lot wider than I ever could have thought. I eat exactly what I want. It just so happens that a lot of the things that I want have changed. And you might find that to be the case too. But you won't know if you don't try. And I'm not constantly hungry all the time. I'm not constantly thinking about food all the time. And that's more important than you'll ever know. The mental clarity, the not thinking about food, just not being hungry all the time. So impactful to my life. I mean, and realistically, what are we going to do? We have to lead by example. We're already living this lifestyle. If you're watching this video, you're already leading by example. You're already walking the walk. You're just here watching this video on how to learn to talk the talk. Use your results, your energy, your changes. Another example. Something that's not uncommon. We talk about all the time. I brought this new keto dessert to the family function and nobody knew it was keto. I brought this new thing that Chris Cook in Nashville made and it was awesome. They didn't even realize they weren't real potatoes. I made that new Chris Cook in Nashville recipe and made those crackers and people didn't even realize that they were keto or carnivore or anything. They didn't realize they weren't full of carbs. There's a lot of recipes out there, a lot of good things to take into consideration. People won't always listen to what you say, but you can rest assured they're watching what you do. Be the proof that this lifestyle works. It's sustainable. You feel better. And when they're ready, when the time is right, they'll find you.